An ignored child doesn't vanish, they redistribute themselves, one part that performs to lower the temperature of the room, another that tucks away and waits for a gaze that never lands, and the nervous system encodes this arrangement as survival, not preference, long before the child has language for it. What looks from the outside like easy, independent, or no trouble, is often a choreography of self-erasure learned in a home where the basics might be present: meals, rides, clean clothes. Yet the core currency of development, attuned attention, is scarce, intermittent, or miscalibrated. In that environment, signals meet silence. A proud drawing waved at the doorway with no eyes looking up, a small hurt narrated without a question back, a bedtime story cut short by an exhausted, "not now," and across hundreds of such micro-misses the body learns oblique math. My inner life does not move the world, so two compensations emerge, sometimes alternating in the same day. Hypervigilance, scan harder, read faces faster, preempt friction, and shut down, numb out, need less, lower the volume of the self, both of which conserve attachment at the cost of authenticity. Because a child will trade anything for belonging, even themselves, they begin to optimize for the narrowest kind of safety, anticipate moods, carry secrets, deliver competence, avoid adding weight, become the thermostat of the household so adults can remain untroubled, and the world applauds with words like mature, resilient, responsible, while the nervous system burns through glucose learning the impossible task of managing others' weather. Unmarried feelings don't disappear, they migrate into the body: headaches after family gatherings, tummy aches before school, a tight jaw that becomes a default setting, sleep that never quite refreshes, and later, adolescent symptoms that adults sometimes mislabel as attitude or laziness, but are the physics of a system trying to hold itself together without external co-regulation. The psychology that forms here is exquisitely logical. If signaling fails, minimize signals. If needs cost connection, make needs microscopic. If expression draws correction or mockery, speak the least consequential language. Achievement, helpfulness, silence, and earn proximity by being useful. This economy of self teaches the child to value predictability over play, control over curiosity, and performance over presence. So classroom praise lands like both balm and leash, proof you exist and a cue to keep your edges sanded. Socially, ignored children often become impeccable observers, quick to catch group hierarchies, skilled at matching tone, and admired for reading the room. But the price of that skill is an empathy that overfunctions outward and malfunctions inward. They can intuit others' needs while staying dissociated from their own signals for hunger, rest, delight, or discomfort. Boundaries, if taught by omission, are experienced as betrayal when finally attempted, because saying no in a family that asked for little but silently demanded everything feels like treason, and guilt becomes the bodyguard that herds them back into roles of helper, fixer, or ghost. Over time, identity ossifies around what is tolerated rather than what is true: the nice one, the productive one, the listener, the sibling who never complains, the student who never raises a hand unless certain, the friend who is always available but rarely known. None of this arises from defect. It is adaptation to an environment where the cost of visibility exceeded the resources offered to meet what visibility would reveal. Ignored children also internalize a distorted justice. They come to believe that good behavior should earn attention and that lack of attention is proof of failure. So they double down when neglected, study harder, clean more, smile wider, mistaking relational deprivation for an indictment of worth rather than a scarcity in the adults around them. In adolescence and early adulthood, the same pattern shape shifts into hyper-independence. I don't need anyone. Perfectionism, if I make no mistakes, I'm safe, or people-pleasing, if everyone is okay, I can rest. And romantic life often oscillates between relationships where they overfunction, therapist partner, manager of logistics and emotions, and retreats into solitude where numbness masquerades as peace. Career choices can trend toward roles that reward invisibility with stability, back-of-house excellence, operations, support, where significance is high but spotlight low, or toward high-achievement tracks where metrics provide the recognition the family never offered. Yet metrics are fickle gods, and the crash after a flattened learning curve can feel like abandonment all over again. Spiritually, ignored children can mistake silence for virtue and suffering for proof of goodness, confusing the absence of complaint with the presence of character, which keeps them from naming harm clearly and seeking repair directly. Crucially, none of these trajectories are fate. Development is hospitality to revision, and the very capacities they built to survive become assets in healing when repurposed. The keen perception that once prevented harm can be turned inward to notice early whispers of need. The reliability that once kept a household from tipping can be applied to rituals of self-care, regular meals, sleep hygiene, unglamorous routines that teach the body that someone finally shows up for it. The restraint that once protected attachment can be balanced with graduated risks of visibility, saying, "I'm tired," to a safe friend, asking for help with one task, showing a draft before it's perfect, and letting the nervous system survive the small earthquakes of being seen. The first repair is witnessing without minimizing, naming, "I wasn't mirrored, my signals were not met, I adapted," and then replacing the gaslighting script. "It wasn't that bad, I turned out fine," with a more precise compassion. "It shaped me in specific ways, now I'm reshaping." From there, boundaries become not walls but instruments. Short, clear notes like, "I can help Saturday, not Sunday, I need a pause, I'm not available for that joke," rehearsed in low-stakes rooms until guilt's volume lowers and the body learns boundary is care, not crime. Co-regulation, once absent, can be learned in adulthood through therapy, friendship, group work, or mentorship where another nervous system lends steadiness and models repair. Being interrupted and then genuinely apologized to, being asked curious follow-ups, being believed at first telling. Play, exiled early, returns as a disciplined practice. Hobbies with no scoreboard, making messes that no one grades, being in rooms where usefulness is not the price of admission, and perhaps the deepest shift is allowing attention to land on you without earning it, receiving a compliment without deflection, absorbing concern without performing competence, letting kindness complete its circuit. Ignored children grow into adults who deserve redundant proof that they matter apart from function, proof delivered in ordinary doses, again and again, until the old math is revised and the self that once hid to protect love can stand where love can finally reach it. To understand the ignored child's psychology at a deeper resolution, imagine the brain as an organ of prediction that calibrates itself to whatever environment it must survive. In emotionally quiet homes where signals meet indifference or misattunement, the predictive model shifts toward two main strategies: heightened scanning or strategic numbing, and both are neurally efficient given the data. The amygdala learns to flag micro cues with low thresholds. The insula tunes to other people's states more than one's own. The prefrontal cortex overdevelops inhibitory control to tamp down impulses that might bother others, and the vagal brake, the body's capacity to downshift arousal, either becomes exquisitely strong in public, stone-faced calm, polite competence, or fragile in private, collapsed energy, insomnia, comfort eating, yielding a split life where the world sees composure and the bedroom sees collapse. Attachment pathways likewise take shape along the grain of emission. Some children drift toward deactivating strategies, turn feelings into tasks, turn bids for closeness into jokes, turn needs into neatness, which looks like independence but is actually grief hidden in organization, while others adopt hyperactivating strategies, keep knocking at the door with perfect grades, perfect timing, perfect helpfulness, which looks like diligence but is actually protest without words. School sharpens these adaptations into identities. Teachers love the quiet producer who never needs redirection. Peers rely on the peacemaker who diffuses drama. Coaches praise the utility player, and the child's nervous system learns that belonging can be rented by function, not granted by presence, so they widen skill sets that earn predictable approval, speed, accuracy, availability, and neglect inner terrains that feel economically useless, daydreaming, desire, dissent, and by adolescence the inner critic has hardened into a superintendent policing the corridors of the self with posted rules. Don't need, don't slow down, don't cry, don't ask twice, and if something hurts, you misinterpreted it, because these rules worked once, they're stubborn, and in early romances they become choreography. Choose partners who love your steadiness but never ask for your insides, or choose partners you can fix so that love feels familiar as labor. The ignored child's conflict style often alternates between ultra-competence, handle everything so nothing erupts, and abrupt withdrawal, go dark so nothing leaks, and the fear beneath both is the same: if I am truly seen, I will be downgraded or abandoned. Career paths reward the mask, operations roles that keep trains running on time, clinical or technical roles where excellence is measurable, assistant positions that make leaders shine. None of these are lesser, they are pillars of the world, but if chosen from scarcity rather than preference, they become harnesses, and burnout sanctifies the old lie. See, I can't afford needs. Perfectionism then closes the triangle with shame and delay, promising safety if the next thing is flawless while ensuring nothing feels finished, and the nervous system remains in a holding pattern that looks like maturity but feels like carelessness. The exit is not demolition but retuning, and it begins with brave witnessing, naming the architecture of a mission with adult precision so the child logic can be honored and retired. I learned to minimize signals because signaling didn't work. I learned to be useful because usefulness was safer than need. I learned to earn attention because attention unearned never came. Then adding the corrective clause. Those lessons were intelligent there and are expensive here. From there the work is somatic before it is semantic. Practice micro-permissions that teach the body, not just the mind, that presence can land and nothing bad happens. Drink a glass of water when thirst appears instead of overriding it. Sit for 2 minutes with eyes closed after a task instead of filling the gap. Tell a trusted person, I'm depleted, and let the sentence hang. Notice the urge to explain or apologize and let it pass like a bird. Nervous systems learn by repetition, so build rituals with clocks and doors. Eat within an hour of waking to counter the "I'm fine" script. Step outside at lunch to widen visual fields and unhook from micro-evaluations. Create a shutdown sequence at night that signals safety. Dim light, warm shower, 1 page of paper journaling. To repattern a body taught that rest is suspicious. Relationally, pick one experiment at a time. With a safe friend, share a story before it's polished and meet the ache of being helped. With family, replace silent compliance with respectful clarity once a week. I can't host Sunday, I'm free Thursday for an hour, and accept the awkwardness as a detox symptom, not proof of harm. At work, negotiate scope where possible and narrate capacity in neutral language. To hit quality, I can deliver this week or be next, which matters more. So boundaries become decisions rather than betrayals. Therapeutically, look for containers that emphasize repair in real time. Attachment-based or somatic therapies, group process with tight facilitation, because the medicine isn't elegant insight alone, but the lived correction of being interrupted and then invited again, being upset and then believed, being messy and still kept. Grief will surface, the catalogue of birthdays unmarked, games unattended, achievements met with shrugs, and that wave is not a detour but the river itself, because the nervous system cannot relax into benevolence until it mourns the cost of vigilance. So put grief on the calendar like a training day. Walk with a playlist that cracks the chest. Write a letter you don't send. Sit with a photo and say out loud, you deserved more. Then end with sensory kindness, blanket, tea, shower. So sorrow pairs with care and doesn't reenact abandonment, because guilt will bark when boundaries move. Rehearse its arrival. Hello, old bodyguard. Stand down, then return to the plan, because shame will whisper, you're dramatic. Answer with data. 3 examples from this week where a need was small and valid and met without catastrophe. Cultivate pleasure literacy as a counterweight to utility. Texture, taste, sound. Naming micro delights trains the insula back towards self-sensation. And assemble a board of steady others, not many, just enough, who agree to a compact of mutual candor and repair. So the future doesn't depend on guesswork. None of this requires a personality transplant. It is the reallocation of gifts, perception turned inward as well as outward, reliability pledged to your own routines, gentleness extended to the self who couldn't risk it then. Over months the predictive model updates, signals begin to move the world, needs shrink to human size, rest stops feeling like a trapdoor, and connection stops tasting like debt. The child who learned invisibility to protect love does not need to disown that genius, only to teach it new terms, where visibility is small, chosen, and safe enough to let life widen without the price of vanishing. Healing from being the ignored child means letting the body relearn what the mind may already suspect, that attention can arrive without audition, that needs can be voiced without debt, that love can stay when you take up space. The final movement is integration, gathering the split parts back into a whole self that is allowed to be vivid, and it unfolds through deliberate, ordinary practice rather than a single cathartic event. Begin by formalizing your small theater. Identify 2 or 3 rooms, a friend, a therapist or group, a craft circle, a faith community, where you commit to show up as you are, not as you are useful, and make a rule that in these rooms you will name one true thing per meeting. I feel heavy today. I'm excited and scared. I need a pause, and then say nothing else for 5 beats so the nervous system experiences being received without rushing to soften or explain. Pair those rooms with a private ritual that reconstitutes continuity, a daily 2-line journal, what I felt, what I needed, a weekly hour where you touch paper not glass, a monthly check-in where you reread your notes and circle any sentence that still asks for action. Treat the body as a partner in this integration. Schedule steady meals, steady sleep, steady sunlight, and steady movement, not as optimization but as apology to the organism that kept the lights on during famine. Incorporate microsomatic skills you can perform without fanfare. Orienting, name 5 things you see. Pendulation, move attention gently between a calm area and a tense area. And completion, shake out hands, yawn, or sigh after a stressful call, so the vagal system relearns that activation has exits. Translate boundaries into scripts so they are reachable in the moment. I can't today. Try me next week. I want to hear you and I need 5 minutes. I don't find that funny. I can help with X, not with Y. And visualize delivering them at 3 intensities: soft, neutral, firm, so your body knows range. When guilt arrives, label it as a relic of a house where your job was to disappear and reassure it with data. Point to the friendship that deepened after you told the truth, the headache that didn't come after you left on time, the small resentment that dissolved when you asked directly instead of hinting. Expect relapse into old choreography under stress and pre-write your return path. Text a friend, pull me back. Place a sticky note on your desk that says, say the need in 1 sentence. Keep a glass of water and a protein snack within reach because underfueled bodies go silent quicker. Widen your map of play in adulthood. An instrument badly learned, a garden poorly tended, a language haltingly spoken, so that desire has laboratories unlinked to grades or gratitude. In family systems that still profit from your invisibility, practice kind firmness at the level of logistics before philosophy. Change the location to neutral ground, shorten the visit, arrive with an exit time, stay near the relative who respects your personhood, go with an ally who can redirect conversations and leave with you on schedule. In workplaces that consume quiet competence until it frays, ritualize scope, define outputs, put recovery on calendars, escalate before resentment, and cultivate mentors who measure success by sustainability rather than sacrifice. Give grief a long shoreline. There will be second and third waves as new tendernesses reveal what they missed. The graduation where no one asked what you loved about learning. The breakup where you consoled rather than leaned. The promotion that felt like proof instead of pleasure. And let those waves teach you to stay with feeling until it subsides, then to mark it with a tiny act of honor, a candle, a note to self, a walk, so sorrow becomes integrated history rather than present tense. Practice receiving as a skill. When someone offers praise, replace deflection with, thank you, I'm taking that in. When someone offers help, replace, no worries, I've got it, with, yes, could you do a? When someone offers closeness, let your eyes meet theirs for a beat longer than feels safe and watch nothing terrible happen. Update justice inside your own mind. Attention that did not come was not a fair referendum on your worth. You were not ignored because you were lacking. You were lacking because you were ignored. Once that sentence lands, you can stop punishing yourself with impossible standards and start negotiating your life with adult terms. Cultivator, board of witnesses, 3 names you can text, reality check, who will answer with clear, kind mirrors, and practice being that witness for others so your empathy serves reciprocity, not extraction. If you parent or mentor, break the transmission by asking, how does your face feel when I say that? Or, is there anything you didn't get to tell me today? And by repairing openly when you miss, because the child inside you repairs a little each time you attune to a child outside you. Protect the right to be changed without announcing it. Let your next chapter be lived before it is described. And when you do describe it, choose mediums with proportionate consequences. A coffee, a letter, a room that can hold disagreement and care. Remember that, quiet, and silenced are not the same word. Choose the first as rest, refuse the second as fate. And when old seasons call you back to smallness, answer gently and say you're busy growing. In closing, understand this: an ignored child survived by genius, by reading rooms without being taught, by smoothing storms they didn't make, by turning hunger into halo. And those same capacities can power a generous adult life once they are rehired for better jobs. You do not need to become loud to be real. You need to become loyal to yourself in the same way you were loyal to everyone else. Loyalty looks like regular food, regular sleep, regular truth, regular no, regular yes to joy that serves nothing but aliveness. It looks like letting friendship carry your weight as often as you carried theirs, like letting work be meaningful without being martyrdom, like letting love be mutual or letting it go. The ending, then, is not a door slamming on the past you resent, but a door opening to a house where your knock is answered, where your laugh echoes, where your tears summon hands, where your needs are ordinary, not emergencies, where play returns like a stray that finally trusts the porch light, where the self that split to keep love alive steps back into the center and finds that love, sturdier now, has been waiting with a chair. May you take it, may you rest in it, may you rise from it with a life sized for your full voice. And when you forget, you will. May you remember the simplest corrective: say one true sentence to someone safe and let it land, because every time you are heard, the world rewrites its rules around you, and the ignored child becomes, slowly, beautifully, impossible to overlook again.